Hello, 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 good people. I am here. I am here. I am here. Welcome to another edition of LiLi's Lessons. I want to first, I'm going to introduce myself before anything else. I am LiLi Washington, owner of YB Limited. That is the letter Y, the letter B, the word limited, the way it is spelled here on this channel. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. I am also the co-host of On the Block with Jen. It is a nightly show that we do here on YouTube. All right, we do it from Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then on Fridays and Saturdays we go a little bit later, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It is the most diverse panel on the internet, and I'm very proud to be a part of that show. Hey, Louis Conyer, thank you for showing up today. This is going to be a really good edition of Lily's Lessons. I want to first of all thank you all for watching the last episode. The response was overwhelming, and I'm not just saying that, it was overwhelming. I put it out. It's kind of just like a test of honesty for real, and I was not expecting the response that I got from the show from so many different people, the text, the emails, the comment section, all of you all, you did your thing. And you all requested more Lily's Lessons. And as I told you, I have made some of the dumbest decisions that you can think of, okay? But the most important part about it is that I've learned from them. And the thing is, it was important that I brought this particular series to you, not as a place of like coming from a place of self righteousness or judgment or, oh, this is what I did and this is what you should do too. None of that. It's simply me just sharing some of my experiences, what happened, like the consequences that came from them, and then what I learned from them, and then what I did with those lessons and how it worked out for me, like the new consequences that I got from it. And with that, you can take whatever you want, or you can delete whatever you want. Like you can just say, you know what, none of that applies to me. Thanks, Lily. I'll see you the next episode. Right. But I'm also always interested in hearing your perspective. And today's title, like we're going to be talking about the family and friends and the support of from your family and friends and how people expect it and what that does, right? And this is coming from another personal place. This was a very interesting lesson that I had to learn, and it was interesting on how I learned this particular lesson. All right. So I know the title kind of triggered some of you all, but I invite you to hear me out. And if you're still triggered, go ahead, cuss me out in the comment section. All right. So here we go. This is the reason why I came up with that title is, don't expect your family and friends to support you. This particular video is going to be dealing with it. Let me put this in context. This is going to be dealing specifically with business. Okay. This is a lesson that I learned in business. This is not applying to other areas per se. But if those other areas come up in this video, we'll go ahead and address that as well. Okay. Now, back in 2013, I started YB Limited. I had nothing. Okay. I had no money. I was living in with a roommate in like a really rundown apartment complex in Atlanta. And it was people around me that was like, oh, you need to start a business. You're talented. You can do X, Y, and Z. And I was just thinking, like, people would buy what I want to put out. Because a lot of times when you have like a natural gift or something like that, you don't think anything of it. You just think like, oh, all I did was a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and any of you all can do it. So I really didn't think that I had anything to offer, but people around me, they did encourage me to start this business and all of that good stuff. Okay. All right. So boom, that's what I did. I started my business from scratch. I knew nothing about business. You all, I was just getting out of prison for God's sake. Okay. And like I said, I didn't have anything. But prior to me getting out of prison, I did make a 10-year goals list of what I wanted my life to look like over the next 10 years. And I'm proud to say that I not only hit every goal on that list, but I exceeded it. And that's just awesome because, like I said, I was sitting in a cell when I wrote that list. And so, I started this business. I didn't have any skills or anything like that. So I did get mentors and stuff like that. Now, I got to this weird place when when you're trying to grow a business from scratch, and I'm talking about without capital, without rich mommy and daddy, like it's just really hard work, networking, consistency, and things like that. A lot of us get frustrated. A lot of us do. That is a normal, natural state. And in that frustration, a lot of times we lash out and we want to look and like, why is things not moving fast? And it's your fault and it's your fault. And if you would have just supported me a little bit more, I'd probably be further along and stuff like that, right? And so I see a lot of these posts that remind me of the mindset that I was in during that particular time period. I see the posts with people saying things like, you know, uh, they don't want to mess with their family and friends no more because their family and friends don't support their business that they started, or people are basically just stating that. That's the gist of it. Like people are just frustrated that their family and friends are not supporting them in business. And I'm here to tell you from a hard lesson that I learned. It's not their job to. It's not their job to. I know you don't want to hear that. Neither did I. But the reality is this: I had to be able to separate my business life from my personal life. Okay. A lot of times, what I do is I study the greats. I don't just study the greats, I study people who are not so great as well, because I want to see what people do right and what people do wrong, and what I may want to adopt and what I may want to leave behind. And that was one of the mindsets that I chose to leave behind. And I'm really, really, really glad I did, for a multitude of reasons. They're not there to support you in your business because that's none of their business. That's the first thing. But the real thing is, the reality of it is, your family and friends will be the last people on earth to see you as the professional business person that you are. Their intentions are in the right place. They love you. They like you for the most part. Okay. But as far as your business and the fact that you decided to wake up and start a business today, that has nothing to do with them. They may not be interested in lip gloss. Okay. They may not be a fashion person. Okay. They may not be interested in cars or whatever your business is. That just may not be their interest. That's one thing. The other thing is, when they look at you, they see their friend, they see their family member, they see the dynamic that you all have had for the last 5, 10 years or over a lifetime, right? Um, Lewis, you have websites for your company. I'll get to that in a second. Thank you for asking that, Lewis. Um, they're going to be the last person to see you as that particular said individual, right? That professional person. Okay, so what happens is, they're still trying to continue that dynamic that they've always had with you as their brother, sister, cousin, best friend, whoever. Okay. And whatever that looks like, if that's the person that you go hang out on the weekends with, if that's your confidant that you share your deepest, darkest secrets with, or if it's just the person that you just love, that's the dynamic that they're looking at you from. That's the lens that they see you in, right? So they're not thinking about that business, right? Now, at best, that's not to say that they're not going to help you, that they're not going to support you. The point that I'm making is, don't expect it, do not look for it, because the most important part of this that any business coach would tell you, they didn't tell me, I had to learn this shit on my own, is that they are not your target audience. It's just that simple. They're not your target audience. You look at any person who's become successful in business, it wasn't all of their friends and family, unless there was some nepotism or something like that. But typically, and I'm talking about the person who doesn't have the rich uncle and auntie and stuff like that. The person like myself who didn't have the capital, who didn't have the business knowledge and things like that, who didn't have the wealthy people to just throw capital at them. I'm talking about us. They have to really build from the ground up. Our people don't typically have that. So we're not going to become wealthy off of our friends and family. At best, if you come out with a product, they might feel sorry for you, or because they like you or love you, they might buy whatever it is that you're selling one good old time. That's at best. Okay. To support you. Um, but really after that, statistically, they're not going to purchase again. Statistically, they're not even going to think to probably share a lot of your stuff sometimes, because that's just not even where their mind is at. Because then we got to get to another part. People's lives are busy. Life is hard. Every one of us have a long list of to do, a long to do list on a daily basis. And if you have children, if you are married or whatever, if you're a business owner yourself, trying to get through these 24 hours and take care of everything that we need to take care of in this 24 hours. But then you got your friend, I'm just calling out names. You got your friend LiLi. Okay, you got your friend LiLi. She wanted to start a lip gloss business. Okay, then you got your friend Tony who want to start a dog walking business, and then you got your friend Michael who wants to start. You got all of these friends who wants to start business, and in your heart you would love to support them. In your heart you're rooting for them. You want them to win. You're like, oh my God, like I always do. This is right up your level. You're going to be successful. But in reality, you got 24 hours in a day, and you got your own shit to worry about. But then you got LiLi, who is expecting you to support everything in her business, and Michael was expecting you to support everything in his business, and whoever else you have in your life, right? And you could really mean well, but you just can't spread yourself that thin. And like I said, you might not even care about lip gloss. You may not care about uh, animals or whatever it is, right? And so the point of this is that dynamic that you start that relationship with, whether it's your parent or your children or your sibling or your best friend or a good friend, that is the dynamic that is most important. Okay. Are they fulfilling that dynamic that you all created, that you like them for and that you come around for? Are they doing that well? Are they still that confident that you can call and share everything with, knowing that they're not going to judge you and that the shit's not going to get back to you? Are they doing that well? Right? Because my experience is that it's typically going to be other people in the business world that are interested in the things that you're interested or your business caters to, that are going to be the ones that are going to help you. Okay. And their reasons for helping you could be the most pure hearted reasons, as like, a lot of the reasons why I help people a lot of times is because I know what it's like to start a business from the ground up, and so many people have come along and helped me along the way that it's just my way of giving back, right? It could be that, or it could be like in a way of investing. Like, okay, I see that this person's about to go somewhere. I like where this is going. I want to hop on that train. I want to invest in this. I want to be a part of this success story. I'm going to go ahead and put mine into that, right? So they'll help you. Typically they're not going to be your friends and family. They're not. Okay, it's just that simple. They have the same interests that you have, and I feel like it's unfair for us to put those unrealistic expectations on our friends and family, because we decided that we wanted to start a business, right? That's our responsibility. It's not their responsibility, because their way of supporting you and stuff like that just may not look the way you think it should, especially when you're frustrated when it's not kicking off the way it's supposed to. And Lewis makes a really good point, because that's the next point I was going to make. He says, plus, I think I can put this shit on the screen. Hold on, hold on. There we go. He says, plus, it's not good to do business with family members. And that's another lesson that I learned. I these days rarely do business with friends and family. Um, I do business with like, and I do business with friends because they become friends, but we start off in a business aspect and then we realize we have a lot of other things in common. But if you don't have things in common and you just keep it focused on the business aspect, then you should be good as well, right? Um, but yeah, I was doing business with the friends and family thing, and it goes back to my original point, right? That your friends and family will be the last people on the face of the earth to see you as the professional that you are. It's not a nefarious thing, it's not a malicious thing, it's just how it is. It's how our brains are set up, right? I'm pretty sure it's some like profound psychology stuff that y'all can find in a book or something to read off to you. But right now I'm just sharing from personal experience, from looking at my own experience as well as other people's around me. Because I don't just look at my own experience. Like I said, I look at other people's experience as well. And yeah, they'll be the last to see you. So they're going to be expecting that discount. And in reality, they're going to think that they're supporting you by patronizing your business all while asking for a discount. It's hard for them to see that, hey, friend or family, I'm still growing. I haven't even gotten to the profit part yet. I can't afford to give you a discount. I can't afford to give anyone a discount. And so they may get upset and think, oh, now you acting funny because you got your little business. No, it's just that I can't afford to give you one now. I can't afford to do that. And so for those who are the friends and family of a person who owns a business, do not ask your friend or family member for a discount. That is not supporting their business. It's not. I have a cousin who does social media marketing, and I saw her start her business, and I sat back and I watched her build her business, and I became very impressed by her business, you know, savvy. And I said, "Oh!" And the time came up when I needed those particular services. So I said, "You know what? I'm going to support my cousin by hiring her, but I'm not going to treat her as my cousin." So the first thing I said when I called her is like, "Listen, cousin, I need your services, but I do not need a discount because I don't need a discounted service. I want that same service that you give to your clients, the ones that's writing them good reviews on the website. I want that service. So whatever that costs, I want to pay for that." Okay. And yeah, so and I was able to get great service, and I feel like I got what I paid for. I was very happy with my service, and we still have our family cousin dynamic, but it looks completely different from our business dynamic. So boundaries are very, very, very important for the business owner, especially. Boundaries are very, very, very important. Um, and because the thing is, I'm about to say something, and this what I'm about to say could be a whole video within itself, but our emotions don't have a place in business. It just doesn't. Um, and as a Pisces, as an emotional person, as a loving and caring person, I made that mistake as well. But I found out that that doesn't have any place in my business. And a lot of times when we work with our friends and family, we allow too many emotions to come into place. It just never is a good thing. It just doesn't belong there because you're going to end up making poor decisions based on how you like someone, how you love someone, how you dislike someone. And those are never good business choices by any means. Um, Great point. Lewis says, ask your family, will you ask a white man for a discount? And they won't. Your family or friends, they won't. But it just goes back to the dynamic. I don't think it's necessarily coming from a nefarious place. It's coming from a place of sometimes ignorance, but just it's just simply that they just see you as like their homegirl, their sister, their brother, their daughter, their cousin, or homeboy. They're they're not seeing that business person, so they're like, "Oh, that's just LiLi. She, child. Yeah, I know. I booked a hair appointment or a makeup appointment with LiLi, but I get there when I get there. She understands. She know I be late everywhere. Yeah, but that's not cool when it comes to my business. So it's things like that. Um, God, I feel like there was another point I was going to make. Um, Shit, that's where relationships end because of doing business. Yeah, a lot of relationships do end because of the unrealistic expectations on both sides, right? So I say all that to say that when you decide to start a business, let's take it from the entrepreneurial perspective. That's your responsibility, and part of your responsibility is to figure out who your demographic is. It is not your friends and family. They are not your demographic. And and let me be clear, I've had a lot of friends and family to support me. But the problem is when you're going through that frustrating part of building a business, you won't even think about the ones that are supporting you. You're going to only think about the ones who aren't supporting you and stuff like that, right? So if you just take those expectations off the table, it leaves you in a better position that when and if they do support you, it's more so like an unexpected surprise. Like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting that, but I appreciate that. Oh my God. Because like I said, they're not your target demographic. They may buy once or twice. Right. So that energy that you're spending cussing them out on Facebook or making sub tweets about them can be used targeting your target demographic, the people who are interested in what you have to offer or need what you have to offer. That is who you're going to spend your energy on, not your friends and family. Just because the other part of that is that you're going to still, as your business grows and you become more successful, what happens is you're going to have a slew of people who are going to want to be in your life because you're successful, right? And all they care about is your successful business. And that's when you're going to appreciate your friends and family who don't give a fuck about that. They care about you as a person. And that's when you're going to really appreciate the fact that they really don't care about that. They're glad that you're successful because you're happy and they care about you. Okay, you're going to really appreciate them at that standpoint. I know when my modeling career started to take off and a lot of great things were happening and I became more visible, that's what happened to me. I started having a lot of people that wanted to hang on, and you can tell that they only cared about the fact that I'm popping. Okay, but it felt so good and it feels so good when I'm around people who are like, how are you doing? They just care about how you're doing. So, with that, I hope that you all got something out of this. I really invite you all to leave a comment in the comment section. I would love to hear your experience. I would love to hear your perspective of what you got out of this video. And if you can do me a favor, I just burped. So unladylike. If you can do me a favor, leave like I said, leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can know when I go live. This is going to be um regular occurrence. We leave lessons. I have a lot of lessons where this came from. All right. So and I'm going to say what I said in the last video, that if you find yourself making mistakes, put down the bat, beat yourself with a feather, learn your lesson, and keep it going. Okay. Do not get stuck in the problem, get into the solution. All right. So until next time, always remember to ask yourself, what? Why be limited? Bye bye.